I will show you how I made 10K online in high school so you can just copy me. And no, I'm not going to gatekeep, and I'm not going to sell you anything. So before we start, I'm just going to jump into the proof of sales for you. So as you can see, I've made 10K in revenue. This is November 2023. The business model that I pursued is dropshipping, e-commerce, and more specifically, branded e-commerce. This is my Shopify dashboard and my notifications, just to give you guys an idea. I ended up running into a big mistake, but we'll come back to that later. So jumping into the product, as you guys can see, I have this mini thermal printer, and that's really what NanoNotes, my brand name, is. Now this went viral back in 2023, so of course I had to capitalize on its virality. My target market, obviously with this product, would be students, an office. It was an organization tool. It was for creatives and scrapbookers. What I looked for in a product was it had to be problem solving, it couldn't be too saturated, it had to be all year round, meaning it was evergreen, and also it needed to have good profit margins. Okay, so as you can see, I could source this product from AliExpress for $30, free shipping, and I was selling it for $60. That gives me a good solid 50% profit margin, meaning that yes, realistically, this $10,000 is $5,000 profit, more or less. Now, if we come over to the store and apps that I used Luke's Reviews, the review app that imports reviews from AliExpress. Whether you're a beginner or a guru at e-commerce, using Luke's as your review app is an essential. And speaking of essential, another app I've used is Essential Upsells. Pretty much the reason I used Essential Upsell app is because when people buy printers, obviously they need paper. So that app was a way to upsell papers. Now I did have an issue with PayPal as well, where it would hold my money. And obviously I was doing this back in high school, so I was 16. I needed to use an older friend of mine's PayPal account just to get paid. So I've decided I'm not going to use PayPal anymore. Shopify Payments does the job. Please bro, if you're trying to start dropshipping or e-commerce, do not use PayPal. It will literally just screw you over. Just some other things I used, a .store domain. When you create a dropshipping store on Shopify, it actually has Shopify in the link. So by using a .store domain, you look a bit more professional. Now, when I first launched my store, we used the Dawn theme, but when the product was actually validated, I switched over to the Shrine theme, which is 10 times better. I would recommend using Dawn at first though, if you're new. As for the logo and graphics, and also product images, I would recommend Canva or Photoshop or something similar. Now, as to how to actually get my products to the customer, I would use Zendrop. It's pretty much an all-in-one supply fulfillment hub. It has all the products that you need, and the shipping times are pretty quick too, especially for me in Australia. I would recommend using Zendrop, but only if your product is actually selling well, because they do have some fees. If you want to go that further step of driving more conversions on your Shopify page, I would go for cart recovery emails. Usually they're pretty easy to set up. If a customer decides they don't want to buy, an email gets sent to them reminding them about their cart. Okay, so alright, it's a pretty simple layout. It's literally just text, image, text, image. I'll show you. See, we have a text and an image. On mobile, it looks actually even better, but we've got our testimonials. I don't have the Luke's app installed on this website because, like I said, I just made this just to show you guys, just to give you an example. But here we do have some testimonials, a question section, and that's about it. So the layout is literally just price at the top. When people click, they want to see the price. We've got good product photos here. Not too many options, not too few. GIF, text, little comparison table, testimonials, questions. These are pretty much frequently asked questions. And that's about it. And this here is what it looks like on mobile. So as you can see, we have our urgency. The whole website's pretty much just very simple, very clean. As you saw, there's nothing much to it. It's not overcomplicated. On mobile, you'd be able to see the brief testimonials. Obviously, that adds a lot of social proof. And I do like to include a sticky add to cart when people scroll. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good your website looks. What actually matters is all the little conversion rate boosters. For example, the sticky add to cart, the urgency, the testimonials. The more testimonials, the more reviews, the better. Also, another important thing, there's pretty much just one color, it's blue. Everything else is black and white. If you have too many different colors, It just confuses the audience and clutters everything up. Now, as I mentioned about upsells earlier, this was the main upsell offer. I would sell a 10 pack of refill rolls. I think I would sell a 5 or 10 pack at the time, and there would pretty much just be different types of papers. Now let's get into the big problem, how I easily would have lost $10,000 or more. This is a lesson that I want you to learn from me. Don't make this mistake. Alright, so before I get into this, pretty much to give you a run through, I was running TikTok organic. I went viral. My video hit 10 mil and I hadn't got a single sale. I didn't know why at first until I saw this. Okay, this was my issue. While I was going viral, as you can see, my main customers, countries that obviously weren't Australia and the US or even the UK, alright, and I just thought that these people weren't buying because they didn't have much purchasing power. I was wrong. The reason they weren't buying is actually because I needed to set up the specific shipping zone in Shopify so that Shopify could sell to people in those countries. Okay, and I haven't had it set up yet. So I missed out on so many abandoned checkouts. This issue, like I said, occurred while I was going viral. If I had simply just put in my address for the fulfillment location and added the international shipping zone, I would have easily been able to sell to all these countries, all the other countries that were missing out on this product, 10 to 15 extra $1,000. Okay, so don't make this mistake. Fix your shipping zones. This is what the abandoned checkouts were looking like on my end. It showed that customers were trying to check out, but they couldn't. Now, moving on from that, on the bright side, we have my TikTok account here, typical link in bio. So how I went viral, my strategy was pretty much just filming videos that had already gone viral for my competitors. So as you can see, this video has 15.9 million likes. Another TikTok account selling this printer. Okay, I replicated it. I didn't go crazy viral as much as they did, but of course I went viral. I added my own twist, I made it better. I replicated that extremely viral video and I ended up coming on top in the end with nano notes. Okay, so that's pretty much how the whole thing works. This method does still work in this day and age. I still obviously do dropship to this day. Okay, I went from doing product research, which is literally just scrolling on the burner account. Then once I found the product, I would start posting. I would set up the website once I've gone a little bit viral. Once I've hit 1,000 followers is when I then set up the website and just keep filming. Once you do actually go viral, you need to then just keep posting as many salesy videos as you can. So as I was actually going viral, after the first couple hundreds of thousands of views on this video, the next few videos that I posted after that was actually just really salesy, link in bio type of videos. And that's what drove the customers to my store. Those customers hadn't bought anything because unfortunately they weren't able to, which was a major setback. But at the end of the day, once I fixed my issue, I did end up with the fat $10,000 paycheck by simply just following this formula. I was 16 years old. My first sale, I was actually in class. But yeah, this is pretty much how I did it, and I can guarantee if you're a student, you have the time to do it, you can do it. It may seem easier said than done, but if you're actually trying to become in the top 1%, this is definitely possible. You can do it. So that's pretty much it. Wherever you are in your journey, don't stop now. Keep grinding. I'm locked in. I hope you are too. I'll see you at the top.